Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sandy Jones Show with me, Sandy Jones. And today we're going to talk. Today we're going to talk about Chelsea's amazing result last night, a 2-1 win away at Brighton. I'm very excited to talk about this today because it's a result that means so much to the team. We've moved up to 6th place. Oh my gosh, the air is so thin up here. I'm feeling dizzy. I can't remember the last time we were in 6th place. It's a sign of the times that we're that excited about getting back to 6th place, but my God, we needed it. We needed this result. We needed these 4 wins on the bounce. 4 wins on the bounce. And before we actually start with the, my match review and all the other different things that happened in the match, just a couple of stats. Now that we know the result, now that we know where we stand, Cole Palmer, who scored the first goal, is now on 32 goals and assists for this season, his first proper season of senior football, which means that he's passed Eden Hazard's best ever season in terms of goals and assists. Like, just let that sink in for a second. And the second stat, which I couldn't believe, was he's scored 22 goals so far this season with 1 game to go, which means he's equaled Frank Lampard's best goal tally in a season. I don't even know what to do with that information. It's a brand new, unproven player, a cheap buy in today's market from given the best team probably in the world. But he couldn't get a look in because of the level of quality that they have. We signed him and he absolutely smashes it in his first season. No one predicted this. It's such a pleasure and a dream to have this guy in our team. And I'm just hope that he can push on next season, even if he doesn't match these numbers, but just gets there somewhere thereabouts. If he surpasses them, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did, it would be incredible. And man, Southgate, get this guy on the plane, start him in the games. He will work his magic at the Euros for England. Please, let's just have Palmer in the team playing for England. But before we go on with the rest of the video, I just want to say thank you very much to the subscribers who have subscribed so far. It really is great to have you here. I hope you enjoyed this video too. I really want to do some live videos, and you need a certain number of subscribers to be able to do that. So please, if you're watching this and you're enjoying the content and you're having a good time, get involved. Give me a little like, a comment, and also subscribe so that we can hit that number and I can start doing some live videos as well. Another thing to be really excited about on this channel is that I will be in Berlin during the Euros, and you can expect lots of content around the Euros, out on the streets, talking to fans, in the fan zones and so on. So tune in to this channel if you're a fan of international football as well, and look forward to seeing you then. So let's start with the game then. I was pretty happy with the lineup. I didn't think there was any issues there. Obviously, we've got the 2 ex-Brighton boys, Caicedo and Cucurella, who we're going to talk about a couple times during this video. They were in our lineup. And we also had a couple of ex-Chelsea players on the other team. We had Tarek Lamptey, who never really got a look in, to be fair, at Chelsea, and Billy Gilmore, who had, I would say, decent games when he was at Chelsea. He looked very solid in the midfield when he was at Stamford Bridge. Just never really quite clicked for him. I think it was just bad timing also with the turbulence in the club and everything. But yeah, good to see those couple of players. And I was just hoping, my God, I hope we don't get cursed by the ex-player goal legend that happens in football. And let's see how this game goes. So as soon as the game starts, 90 seconds into the game, Gallagher just absolutely kicks Pascal Gross on the Brighton team. And it reminded me of, like 90s / early 2000s football, where the refs just didn't call yellow cards or red cards, usually 9 times out of 10, in the first 5, maybe even 7 minutes of the game. So you would get the likes of Terry, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, these big tacklers, like even Gerrard and a few others, would fly in and go in 2-footed sometimes hard just to impose themselves a little bit into the game. And it was kind of nice to see. I know it's very risky from him, given the current day and age of, where the game is, plus VAR, which is, again, something we need to speak about in this video. Huge involvement from VAR in this game. But yeah, I mean, again, another good captain quality. It's quite aggressive and risky, but he imposed himself straight away, said, look, I'm here, I'm the engine room of this team. And to be honest, whether you like it or not, I actually think that's a good thing to have in football. 7 minutes in, it's been quite a difficult game to judge for the first 5-7 minutes, like relatively open, both sides kind of doing decent things. And we concede a corner, and again, we're so close to conceding a goal from this corner. There's an off-the-line clearance from Gallagher again, which is as good as a goal. It is honestly as good as a goal. If you haven't seen it, it's not on the major highlights videos for some reason, but this is a really good off-the-goal line clearance from Gallagher. About 10-15 minutes in, the game is starting to settle a little bit more. It is open. I feel like we are playing well. We're creating chances. We're moving forward. We're passing the ball well. We're seeing like the good side of Chelsea so far. And I'm already at this point thinking someone's going to score between Cucurella or Caicedo. I just have that feeling that we're going to have an ex-player scoring a goal in this game. And there it is, a couple of minutes later, Cucurella cuts inside, goes past the defender, and is, we all thought, fouled in the box. He goes down, and I thought, when I first saw it, I was like, pen. Obviously, as a fan, you tend to lean on the side of your team. But then, I knew it was going to go to VAR, and as the VAR show it, he does get a slight nick on the ball. So there, I think, is a good use of VAR. They brought it up, he got the ball, no penalty, fair enough. But already Cucurella is kind of riling up the Brighton fans because he's imposing himself a lot on the game, which is exactly what we need. They've got a decent fan base, and for them especially, this is a bit of a derby. They really don't like us because, understandably, we've taken a lot of their players and their management and so on over the years. But good to see Cucurella getting forward, winning a pen, and unfortunately it was choked off by the VAR. One thing I would say though, and we've seen this again several times this season, is that the defender got the ball, which means that it's not a pen, which means that he kicked the ball. So he kicks the ball, it goes out of play, the VAR does the check and there's no pen. How is that not a corner? If the defender has actually got the ball, that's the reason it's not a pen. We're saying that he got a touch on the ball and it went out of play. How is that not a corner? The referee gives a goal kick. I think it was Palmer who was complaining, like, what? Why is that not a corner? And those little things matter because football's about momentum. And if you've just narrowly missed out on winning a pen, you know that you've already kind of got a good in on the game to get a goal. You go and take that corner, there's a good chance you might score, or at least get a shot on target, or something might happen from that corner. So it's just so disappointing. We've seen it a couple times. I think there was one in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley where the game restarted and we should have had the ball, but we didn't. And just those little things, that's another layer of rubbish, to be honest, on top of the way that VAR is being implemented in England, which is just obviously not working very well. So much so that we've got this new meeting that's going to happen to decide whether or not they scrap it or something along those lines. I'm kind of a little bit in the dark with what's really going on there. I've heard rumors that this might be a consultation in order to be able to name the issues and then try and fix them rather than actually just sack it all off. It seems to be working perfectly fine in other countries. I've seen watching European football and so on where they have the referee announce the decision that they actually make into the stadium, which makes perfect sense. And yeah, I just hope that next season they fix these cracks. They don't just paper over them, they fix them, because it's ruining the game somewhat. It's not as enjoyable to watch football anymore. This kind of nth degree analyzing of the game, it's sort of diminishing the authority of the referee who made the decision. He's made a decision, the VAR should look at it. Is there a clear and obvious error? Yes, change the decision. But if there's not a clear and obvious error, why would you overanalyze the game and change the decision. The flow of the game matters. So that's my thoughts early in this situation with VAR. Mudryk was pretty lively at the start of this game, and at some point he lost the ball and he did something that he wasn't doing in the first half of the season. He absolutely legged it. He used his whole physicality and his speed and he won the ball back. So again, he's not setting the heather on fire at the moment. He scored in the last game, but it's good to see Mudryk really imposing himself and using his attributes in the game. That's all we want. 26th minute, Gusto takes a power shot from about 30, 35 yards, and the keeper saved it really well. But it made me think there's so many good goals from range that Chelsea have scored over the years. So if you want to see a video about my favourite top 10 long shots from Chelsea players, and I can even name the ones where I was at the game and enjoyed it in person, then please comment on this video and let me know that you want to see that. 31 minutes in, and oh my goodness me, this is one of the sexiest, silkiest headed goals I think I've ever seen, definitely this season. It's this deft touch. So the ball goes out to the left-hand side. It's a beautiful first touch on the run. Again, Cucurella, just first touch, doesn't even look. He whips the left-footed cross into the box. And there he is, Palmer, arriving. He knows exactly, this guy, he knows exactly what to do. He stoops his head, he puts just the right amount of power, just the right amount of loft, and in one motion, the Cucurella almost no-look cross, he just glances it, knocks it into the far corner. No chance for the keeper. It's a perfect goal. And he just winds off with the cold Palmer celebration. This guy knows how good he is. And that's why it's such a joy to watch. I absolutely love it when a player has, I think it was Gary Neville that said, this arrogance. And he does have this arrogance, but in the most positive possible way. This guy knows he's going to score. He's not surprised that he puts away these chances. He knows how good he is. And there's so many players who are perhaps as good or up there with him in terms of skill and talent and ability, but they don't have the mentality. They don't have the way to put all of those things into motion. When they have too much time to think, they fluff their chances. We're seeing that with a lot of Chelsea players, to be honest, this season. But Palmer, from day one, he just walks around. He's so languid. His shoulders are just down. He's chilled. He's like, you're all playing my game. That's what I love about him, is that he has this aura around the pitch that we're all just watching the Palmer game unfold, and that's it. He reminds me a little bit, there's like hints, like essence of perhaps Berbatov, you know, these kind of like slower but more languid players that just know they're good. Ibrahimovic, Arnautovic, like these kinds of, you know, just pure skill-based and also incredibly mentally with it players. And I'm just so happy that we've got him. We've signed him for 8 years. I wish it was 16. 35th minute, Mudryk gets hit off the ball by the ex-player Tarek Lamptey. It's a sort of like a shoulder into the head. And I don't know if this is intentional. Didn't seem to get looked at by VAR. Perhaps it did, or at least they didn't refer the referee to the video. And he didn't even get a yellow card, nothing. No further action. Mudryk had to go off because of the concussion. And I was just thinking, really? There was no intervention there whatsoever? 40th minute, it seems like we're kind of struggling a little bit to get hold of the game for the last 5-10 minutes. It's been a bit more Brighton. And I saw something again that we haven't seen at the start of the season. So many good things are happening now. In terms of mixing it up. We don't always have to insist on playing it out the back. I know that that's the modern game. I know that that's the way that you create the spaces further up the pitch, but it's so risky. We're 1-0 up. I like to see this. Petrovic puts the ball for a goal kick, and then he just sends everyone up. We hoof it forward, get it well into the other half. Brighton get the ball back, obviously, but we press them high, and we win a throw-in in their half. Is that not better than every single time we get a goal kick, passing it between the defenders, trying to get the midfielders to come back? it works, and I understand it, and I get that this is the way that Pochettino plays, but it's nice to see that we have an option B. We can just kick a goal kick like we used to in the 90s. Nice to see Cucurella and Caicedo linking up. We had a good chance just before the break. Palmer didn't score, unfortunately. But one thing I also noticed is that when we are breaking and then we give the ball away and Brighton come back, it's actually Caicedo and Gallagher that go into the back three first. I guess because of their speed and their ability to win the ball back. I really like that. We're using the players in the positions that they should be to their strengths. Excellent. Just before the break, Jackson is so unlucky. Another disallowed goal, another VAR decision. I'm not sure about this one. I don't know how I feel. Could it have been given? Yes. Can I understand why they overturned it? Yes. It's just so confusing now, and you don't know who has the right of way, so to say, like which way are we going to go? Slightly more for the defender, slightly more for the attacker. Who knows? We go into the break. It's 1-0, and I'm thinking, good. We've got a goal. What we need to do now is just to come out in the second half and not have this kind of hungover vibe that we've had in other games during the season. We come out all guns blazing and we're probably going to win this game. It's not going to be easy, but we can do it. Second half's about to start and I'm just thinking, please, let's have more of this interplay in the midfield, some nice passages of play that we had in the first half, get it up to the wingers, create the chances. This is great. Pochettino's just hugging everyone. He's hugging Adam Lallana from the Southampton days. He's hugging Barco, this young Argentinian guy. Just hugging everyone. And like, fair enough, Argentinian connection, I get it. It's just so different to how it used to be. You know, football used to be a war. You would never see a Man U team or a Chelsea team from 2005, from 2000, from 95, hugging the defenders and the substitutes that you used to play with and stuff. It just wasn't like that. They would do that at the end of the game and swap shirts and so on, but it's, you know, a sign of the times. There it is. Argentinian connection. Good times. So just after the break, we have a good chance and Nkunku has a decent shot on goal, but he just didn't have quite enough whip on it. He's come off the bench, so he's fresh. And it was good to see him get a chance, but you're just hoping like, oh my God, I really hope he puts away his next opportunity in this game because there's going to be one. You could just feel it. He has so much presence in the game. Great to see him on the pitch. And about the 52nd minute, again, we've got a really good chance. And I'm just thinking, guys, you've got to put away the second goal here. Let's not rue these misses. This time, actually, Palmer was a little bit selfish, to be honest. He did a little bit of what Sterling was doing earlier in the season. He breaks well. He beats a player once, twice, 3 times. After any one of those times, he could have squared it. There was some support, but he goes for the shot himself. Pochettino, quite rightfully, is on the sideline, arms in the air, like, what the hell? And to be fair, he probably could have done some better decision-making. But we'll let you off because you're Cole Palmer and you're an absolute legend already. 56th minute, Brighton should have scored. Really, they should have scored. It was like a heart-in-throat moment. I'm like, oh my God. 1-1, 2-1 Brighton. I've seen this film before, but luckily they missed. 63rd minute. Oh my God. Elation. Gusto with a really, really nice cutback from the right-hand side to his fellow Frenchman, Nkunku, arriving in. Class finish. The away end erupts. You can already see people going up the gantry and the home end. It's absolutely excellent. I'm so happy. We're 2-0 up. Let's just see this game out. Let's win it 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. We can absolutely do this. Fantastic goal. We have deserved it. What is this team? Out of nowhere, we are able to capitalize on our situations, and let's hope it's not a nervy finish. What a celebration as well from Nkunku, grabbing a Chelsea balloon and putting it in his mouth. Iconic picture. There's definitely going to be some chants about balloons to do with Nkunku. I'm sure the Chelsea fans will start some balloon chants about Nkunku. Maybe 99 Luftballons, something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. 68th minute or so, we're just seeing so much good play from Caicedo. This guy is coming out in the last few games. It's absolutely fantastic. He's spraying passes. He's winning the ball back. He's got a view for the goal. It's absolutely great to see. So happy to watch Caicedo doing so well against his old club with all the pressure and everything. Fantastic. Caicedo takes a quick free kick, passes it to Jackson, who turns two defenders, is basically clean through, flicks it over. Sterling, very unlucky not to score. And again, we're just seeing really good play from Chelsea. I want that third goal. Let's kill this game. Fantastic goal. So 2 incredible goals so far. Let's win this game. Come on. 80th minute, you can see droves of the Brighton fans leaving. And I just don't get that. Maybe this is another video for a different, episode of this show, but I just feel like that is such a stupid thing to do. You're at a football match. A football match. Everyone knows that crazy stuff can happen in a football match. We were losing the game against Man U in the 94th minute of the game, 5th minute of extra time, and we won that with 2 goals. So all those Chelsea fans who left missed 2 goals and a complete turnaround. And again, Brighton fans, I don't know what you're doing. Why are you leaving at 80 minutes? It just makes no sense. You're 2 goals down, 1 goal in the last 10 minutes, and you set up to potentially get a point with a second. And who knows, maybe just something absolutely wild happens. Maybe you get 2 incredible long shots. Maybe you get a lucky penalty decision. Maybe Chelsea get a red card. Maybe some of those things actually happened and Brighton found themselves back in the team. And I just cannot fathom why you would pay the amount of money that you pay. You travel, you go to the game, you sit there, unless your team is losing 6-0 with 5 minutes to go or something like that. Fair enough. But if you've got a chance to get in there, stay in your seat, watch the game. Mental. I never understood that. VAR intervene again, and this time, again, I think they got the decision right. We've got James kicking out. Reece James kicks out at the Brighton player after the ball's gone. It's such a senseless thing to do. He gets a red card, and I saw a stat that he's been sent off in 20% of the matches he's played this season, which is just mental. That's our club captain. He really has to reel that in a little bit. We have a couple of disciplinary issues. They were a lot worse in the first half of the season, but we've set a record for yellow cards, I think, this year. And those are just little things that cannot be carried into next year. So James misses the last game. He might even miss the first 1 or 2 games of next season. Not good. Let's draw a line under it and move forward. One thing I would say, though, with this VAR decision, it really reminded me of a thought I had, which is, I don't understand how have we implemented this VAR in England in such a way that when the referee gets called to make a decision to watch the video, he goes to the dugout and watches a screen where behind the screen are 3,000 fans. So if it's a home game and the decision is going to benefit the fans, they're all looking at the ref whose entire peripheral vision is full of angry Brighton fans saying effing and blinding, you'd better do this, you'd better do that. And he's just, trying to be professional, I suppose, and watching it and not to get influenced by all of this. This is madness. This is just down to luck. This is just down to chance. Who's going to be sitting there, what the situation is. We need to do better. The NFL has had video replays being used in games in the American football sport for decades. I remember in the 90s they were doing it, and the way they do it is the way that you should do it. The referee goes, he puts his head inside a booth thing with the big kind of draped, cloth or whatever it is above him, and he's completely tunnel vision, only looking at the play. He can't see anything that's going on in the background because all of those things influence you. We've seen that in games where the referees are being influenced by the things around them. I just don't understand how such a simple thing has been allowed to happen for the whole season, and I really hope that they fix that for next year. Could there be an alternate theory that perhaps James just wanted to get sent off to allow Thiago Silva to get on the pitch for one more extra game before his actual last game? I don't know. But he really made us struggle a little bit. We had to sit back then and invite pressure, and lo and behold, what happens? Brighton score. They make it 2-1. So all the Brighton fans who've left, don't see the fact that their team's just gone back to 2-1. Danny Welbeck, it's always him. He loves scoring against Chelsea no matter who he's playing for. And I'm thinking, we've got 4 or 5 minutes now to see out this game in this long extra time. 10 minutes it was. 95th minute, are we going to throw this away? It was so shaky. It was so nervy at the end. Partially Reese's fault, but also just generally, how are we not putting away more of these chances? We should have killed this game. It should have been 4-1 at best. So there we are. We're facing another crazy 5 minutes. And to be fair, we're pretty resolute. Brighton were all attack, obviously. They're the ones with the impetus to win, to try and get the draw. We did well. We defended resolutely. There was a couple of really good clearances and so on. And then it's like 100 minutes, 111 minutes, and I'm screaming at the TV, blow the whistle, blow the whistle. They finally blew the whistle. I thought it came a little bit late, but there we are. Chelsea win the game 2-1. We gritted through it. The fans are absolutely elated. The players go over and applaud the fans. Again, no Pochettino applauding the fans. Who knows if he's going to start doing it next season? I don't know. And focusing on the positives, look at that. We've won the game. 2-1. We're up to 6th place. We go above Man U and Newcastle into 6th place. It's absolutely unfathomable. When we were down in 12th, 13th and struggling, 3 losses on the bounce or whatever it was, a loss and 2 losses and a draw at some point earlier in the season. No cohesion. None of the star players were really shining except for Palmer, and 14 injuries. And just fast forward to where we are now. You just wouldn't want the season to progress in any other way. If you're going to have a bad patch, you'd want it at the beginning and then you get better. Completely different to, for example, what Tottenham did, which is just come out flying and then decline. So I'm just so happy with the team. I'm so happy with how things are gelling, finally. And again, my stance on Pochettino is he should get the preseason and the first 5-6 games of next season, and then we'll assess. And wow, what a foundation we've now finally built. It's taken 35 to 36 games to really feel like we're there, but we have the foundation. The players are back from injury. Bring on next season. And final thoughts on this game. I just wanted to say one little thing about the post-match press conference. Trying to stay positive, but I can't help but notice this thing. So Pochettino's asked it was quite a frosty response from him, again, like quite defensive, very, very, very strong from him. And he sort of said, the interviewer said, do you finally feel like this is your team? And he didn't even think. He just said, no, that's not my team. That's not my team. And he's just surprised to hear that. I don't know if this is a communication thing, but then he explains it and says, Ferguson had his team after 20 years. Arsene had his team after 15, 20 years. But I think what the commentator is saying is, are these players finally playing your philosophy? Do you feel connected to the squad? Are you happy in your job in this club? Do you appreciate the fans? Like, those are the connotations of, is this your team? But he just immediately skips to the most negative possible way of reading it. And he just says, no, it's not my team. It's not my team. And these are just the little things that I think need to change, or at least need to be examined next season, because we're trying to connect, right? The manager and the management team and the fans and the club are all trying to connect with one another, or we should be. So when there's an opportunity for kindness and to throw an olive branch and say, yes, I'm feeling more like this is a team that's coming together and playing for the club. And I don't know, you could just say anything, but no, that's not my team. Just found that so weird. I couldn't help. I don't want to end on this slightly negative note. I guess we are, but couldn't help but notice that. And that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching this match review. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to do the last game of the season. And like I said, there's going to be loads of stuff coming for the Euros. I'm in Germany, I'm in Berlin, so you're going to get lots of great content around that time. So please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to this video. It really helps. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Sandy Jones, and thanks for watching The Sandy Jones Show. Win or lose, up the Blues.